In this episode I'm going to go through how I'm getting on with BF Bot Manager, running my later draw strategy. It's been running 2 or 3 days now. You can see here I've got 3 different ones. Ignore that bottom one, that's just something else I am looking at. But it's this one, and this one, and out of the 3 this top one's running in live. Just go through it for people who haven't seen previous videos. I'm actually laying the draw before the start of the game. If there's a goal, I'm just exiting out straight away, whether it's the home team or the away team. I've set it up so the home team is always the favourite, odds-on favourite, under 2.0, and the away team is always the underdog, on the assumption that, you know, more often than not, the home team will take the lead, and we can exit out for profit. If the away team scores first, then we typically exit out for a small loss. If there's no goal at all, that's where the 3 strategies are different. So where there's no goal, we'll exit out on this one if the draw price gets down to 1.75. That typically happens between sort of the 75th, 80th minute. It does depend on the odds of the teams and how much of an odds-on favourite there is. On the second one, if the back price of the draw goes down to 2, we exit out. So that happens earlier than this one. So this is typically the 70th minute to 75th minute, depending again on the odds. And then on this one, we don't exit at all. We haven't set anything up to exit, and that means we lose the full liability on this one if there's a 0-0. That's the worst scoreline. Looking at the stats, as a 0-0 in about 5% of games, so that should be about 1 in 20. We'll lose the full liability. Now, I have restricted lay the draw price between 3 and 6, and I am using £1 stakes. So the most we can actually lose is £5, which is a price of 6. Multiplied by your stake of £1, which is 6, minus the pound stake, which is 5, so we'll lose £5 maximum. The least we'd lose on this, if it was 0-0 at the end, would be what was that, £2. So your odds of 3 minus your stake, which is £2. So anywhere between £2 and £5 you'd lose if the game in 5% of the times ended 0-0 on this one. As you can see, this one is doing by far the best. So I'm thinking about replacing this one with this one in real mode, because this is still just simulation mode if you look at the top right here. So what I want to do is just quickly flick into real mode to show you that. Wrong screen, so I'll go to strategies there. So in real mode, my 1.75 is down to minus £3.82. And there's a reason for that. It's gone down £5, and it's basically one trade that happened through the night, and I'm still looking at I'm trying to find out why it happened. So I'll just raise that first of all, and then I'll also show some examples of like the differences the strategies make, like the 1.75 and the no exit. So if I go into the actual trades, I'll raise the issue first for the £5, which will be down the bottom here, because it was just last night. It's Thursday morning, the 21st of April. This one happened about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I lost £5. And I looked at it when I went to transit, because I noticed it went from sort of positive £3 on the strategies page down to about minus 2 or 3 overnight, and I thought, oh, what's happened there? I must have lost a few trades. I did lose a couple there, which is £1 worth there, but then I lost this £5. I was thinking, how on earth can I lose £5? Because I've got an exit strategy and to come out regardless. And it was I thought maybe it's a late goal and I've lost the full liability, but even then I can't lose the full liability because I'm coming out 20 minutes before the end of the game or so. So looking at the stats as well, the home team scored in the 10th minute, so it should have exited out in about the 13th. There wasn't even a quick goal straight after either. It wasn't until the like, I mean, there was 3 goals in the last sort of few minutes. I didn't even notice that before. If this game hadn't ended a draw, I would have won the whole £1 back that I put on, but because it ended a draw, I lost £5 because I lost the whole liability. And typically, sod's law, I laid at 6, which is the highest. When I said we'd lay between 3 and 6, that's the highest lay price, draw price we'll take, which is the maximum loss we can make. But you can see this back bet went in and it was voided. Now, I just clicked on that. I shouldn't have clicked on that because it's gone out a different screen. Right, sorry, back to market. Sorry about that. You can see that it was this back bet to trade out was voided. Now the match kicked off at 1:15. We put the lay bet in at 1:10, which was 5 minutes before kickoff, which is fine. And then we put the back bet in at 1:28, which was only 18 minutes later, which is about 13 minutes into the game, which is 3 minutes after the team scored, the home team. So we should have come out with a, like a few pence profit, somewhere between 0 and 50 pence. I would have said maybe a bit more. Don't know. Depends on the odds, obviously. Instead, we've taken a £5 loss because the game ended a draw because this bet was voided. So I do need to find out why it was voided. I've looked in Betfair and I can't see any evidence of a back bet going in. So to me, that means BF bot managers like link with Betfair's field, like the API or something's gone wrong, because otherwise I would have expected if BF bot manager had placed the bet or put the bet in, I would have saw some evidence in Betfair, or maybe it has tried to place the bet and Betfair has booted it out, and so BF bot managers has marked it here as voided. But for whatever reason, I do need to get to the bottom of that. It's the first time it's actually happened in quite a few hundred trades, to be honest, so I'm not overly concerned about it, but it was just a little bit disappointing to see it this morning. There's actually another oddity here as well during the night. I thought it might have been a fault with the software. It might be the internet. I don't know, it could be anything really, internet connection, I thought, but all the remaining trades seemed to be fine after that, after 1 o'clock in the morning. It was just that one game there until I saw this one. I thought, how have I made £1? Is that a really late goal going in? So it didn't matter at the very end, so I won the full £1. But no, it was 3-2 at full time. It was 2-2 at half time, so it should have exited out way before half time. So looking at this one, there's just no evidence of a back bet even in the BF bot manager, so don't know what's happened with that one either. So these two trades I've just gone through there, I'm going to contact, or at least look in the manual. I'll look in the manual first, especially for this one, to see what avoided bet's all about, to see if I can get to the bottom of the technical issue there. And then for this one, I think I'm just going to have to go straight to BF bot manager support and see why would this happen, because to me, again, looking at the goals, this should have come out in about the 23rd minute. There's not even a quick succession goal after that. Quick succession. I don't. There's not a goal in the next few minutes after that, even sort of make it complicated or to complicate things. It was a goal after 20 minutes, so it should have come out on the 23rd minute. It had a little profit because it was the home team who got the first goal. So I need to look into those two, because that's a net loss of £4 if you see again there. Hello, I would have made some money out of that one, like 25 pence or something, or whatever. I wouldn't have made the full £1. So that's I've made a gain of about 75 pence there, but I've made a loss here of about, well, I'd say nearly £5, because even if it had placed a back bet successfully, I would have got a little bit back. Would have been a more profitable trade. But then after that, it seems to have been fine again, but there's only been 3 trades since, so obviously it quietens down. It's a Thursday morning. You can see the games that are coming up here. There's not many until we get to about tea time tonight. So that's the discrepancies I've found. With regards to the analysis I'm going to do, if I go back up here, you'll see things where I've lost like over £1, like that one for example there. I lost £1.47 on that trade, and I can see that it was 0-0 at half time and then 1-0 to the underdog, so I'm thinking that's got to be a late goal. I'll have come out at like 70th, 75th, 80th minute. The home team must have been pretty odds-on favourites, and if I click on that, you can see the game kicked off at 5:45. We exited out at 7:15, which there was probably 5:45. There was probably about 20-25 minutes to go. But we've come out with about 20-25 minutes to go when the draw price was down to 1.69. I know it's set at 1.75, but I never seem to get that. It's always lower for some reason. I don't know if it's just the time delay or the price you can get. I mean, I got a higher price than I was expecting because it actually requested 1.68, but I got 1.69. So if I click on here to see the match stats, you can see the away team score in the 93rd minute. So that's a +1 for the having no exit strategy, where we've made £15 in simulation. That's a positive there, because instead of losing the £1.47, I think we would have actually made a profit of about 90 pence, 95 pence, because there was so little time left for the home team to come back into it. I think that the draw price would have been a lot higher. So I would then need to look at a game that ended 0-0. So there's one there just below it. So you've got like Atletico against Granada. That ended 0-0, so we lost £2.29 there. So this is a positive for coming out when we did, because we only lost £2.29. As if we'd left to go at the end of the game, we would have lost the full liability. So there we would have lost £4.60 if we'd let that run to the end of the game and have no exit strategy. But I think so that's a £2.40 or £2.31 difference there. We would have lost £2.31 on that, but on this one we would have lost, then we would have made about 90 pence instead of losing 147. So that would have been a positive. That would have cancelled out this one effectively. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up all the previous results and look at the 0-0s and look at the late goals where I've come out early, lost about £1 odd, because I think a lot of them do get a late goal. It's amazing how many late goals do go in. If I just scroll up a bit more and find another one, which I would happen with that one, because it's 21 pence. I can't look at these two because they've got no stats in them. I don't know why it's still trading on those, because I thought I'd told it not to. But there's a pound there, £1.09. Yeah, so that was 0-0 at half time. It ended 1-0. So I'm assuming that's another one whereby, yeah, 90 plus 5. It's amazing, and it's amazing how many times the away team goes on to win. I think it's the time of the season as well, which I've already mentioned. I'm going to look at the leagues because trading on the sort of last few weeks of the season's mad, because there's been some crazy results on this. Where the away teams, not playing like the away team at all. A lot of them are sort of taking the lead, winning, holding on, even getting draws, which is the worst case scenario. But you can see there what the goal went at the end. So instead of losing, I don't know where I was there. I should have warmed that one up. Oh, that's it. There's it. Instead of losing £1.09, we would have probably made closer to £1 again. So that's a £2 swing, because it was so late, 90 plus 5. There wasn't much time for the home team to get back into that. So yeah, I'm going to count up all. I'm going to go upwards and count up all like a good day or two's worth of data and see how much difference it would have made by getting out of these trades. There's another one, 0-1. There's another one, 0-1. How many? I should change the strategy to bet on 0-1. I'd make a fortune just backing them, because they're obviously the underdogs. You'd probably get odds of 6, 7, 8, 9 for some of these teams we're looking at to win the game. And if you do correct score, you probably can get more than that. So this one, that was a joke by the way. I'm just sort of these two here, same scenario. We lost £1.70 on this one. Yeah, so they scored in the 82nd minute, which is, we'd already come out by then and lost our £1.70, was it? Yeah. We'd already come out by then, probably 5 or 10 minutes before Elche scored, got the winner. And then this one, yeah, 83rd minute again. You can see how many of these we could spin round and get a good 50 pence onwards. Obviously I'm saying 50 pence if it's like the 80th minute or so, 82nd, because that gives the favourites at home time to score, level it. I think the draw will still be quite low odds at that point, but certainly I think if there's anywhere the home team scores, there's one there just a little bit further up. All these negatives are like the pound ones you could get rid of and make them positive if it doesn't end in 0-0 obviously. And then I don't know if it's just because we've only had, I mean there's not been many 0-0s, we lost 2.34 there, so that would have been a big loss. That would have been a £4.80 loss. But again, it's only a couple of quid more, whereas that wouldn't be made up by one of these turning round from a -165 to a positive. That was a home team scoring there later on when we'd already exited. So if I just look at when they scored, 87th minute. And that's why I think, looking back at this simulation mode where we're £15 in profit on that one, that's why I'll look at this data in more detail, see if it's going to be beneficial or not. I think it is, because the simulation mode sort of confirms it's going to be more beneficial, because the 1.75 which I'm using in real mode is only £9 in profit, and I think it was actually £6 in profit before I started the 2.0 and the no exit strategies. There's a 1-1. Not sure what would happen in that instance where we've lost £1.17 there. Oh no, sorry, it's a 0-0. I've looked at the wrong column. I was looking at the one below. I will look at that one though. So this one we would have lost £2.75, so that's a lower odds. Maybe I could reduce the draw odds down to 5, because then the maximum we could lose is £4, because I don't mind that kind of loss there. 2.75 for a 0-0 draw, it's probably worth the risk, because the draw was only 3.75. Obviously the lower the draw price is, then the more probably the less favourite they are. I know I'm trying to say, but I haven't said it very well. They're less of a favourite, than they're probably closer to 2.0 if the draw is low, whereas if the draw is high at 6, then the home team's probably down at like 1.5, 1.6, whatever. This one here, this was a 1-1. It was 0-0 at half time and we lost 124. Kicked off at 4 o'clock, we come out at 5:30, so there's only about 10 minutes of the game to go, 15. So I assume it was 2 late goals. Let's have a look. Yeah, so 83rd minute, home team, we would have come out for a profit of about, probably expect the home team to go on and win it because they're favourites, probably about 70-75 pence. I'm going to look in simulation mode as well, because all these games should have actually played out in simulation mode, so I'll be able to see how much I did win on the no exit strategy for these games. So if I'm going to go through, jot them all, well, I'm not going to jot them all down, I'm going to export these. Sorry, I'm going to export this data into a spreadsheet and then just filter out the negatives, and then I'll just put a column in to see whether they're 0-0 at, well, we can see whether they're 0-0 at full time, and I'll try and do a summary of like what the turnaround would be and how much I would have made and how much I would have, how much more I would have made than the way the strategy's played out at the moment, and that's the best I'll be able to do really. And if that shows positive, then I'll be replacing the live strategy, the 1.75 live strategy here, with the no exit strategy from the simulation. It's just in case you export it from simulation, you import it in here, import your strategies there, export them there. So I'll go into simulation, export it there, come back into real mode and import it here, turn this one off and turn the no exit one on. And that's the plan for the rest of today. So hopefully by tomorrow's video we might be running a different strategy with the no exit again. It seems like we're going full circle back round, but it does seem to play out better, or it has done for the last few days. Obviously we then keep the 1.75 and the no exit strategies running in simulation for days, weeks, months if we can, just to show long term how they work out. And then after this, the next probably point of call is looking at the leagues, because I'm not convinced I'm not trading on the right leagues, simply because like I say, there's some wacky results at the moment whereby teams are turning other teams over that you wouldn't expect, just because they're trying to play harder to win games, to get out of relegation zones, to get into Europe, to get promoted, things like that. And then you've got mid-table teams who aren't really playing for too much. So that's the next steps. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will be back hopefully tomorrow with an update. Thanks now. Cheers. Bye.